anything that takes over the game, and we certainly saw Carl do that. WP on the camera there, and me and Reddy on the call for this one. Kenny will join us a little bit later after our grand finals matchup. Seems pretty split, 59-41. Are you team blue or team red? Because the Kool kids are trying to see if they can withstand the cold of the winter. At the end of the day, you know, just a bunch of new squads, and you know. So I asked you earlier already, you know, what you look at, what you look for when you see like new players, and you took it very specifically with the teams we're watching here and mentioned Orca. But in general, I'm watching these brawlers, Kool. If you're a fan at home, you know, what are some things that you look for to see when you're scouting talent, as far as like obviously accuracy, but is there any like esoteric skill sets that might point out to you?
Yeah, I would definitely say if you're at home, look for the more consistent players, so the ones that are more successful when they try and go for something big. You know, the flashy plays are always going to be cool, but when those flashy plays start piling up, that's called consistency, right? And being reliable as a player is what I think truly makes you great. Makes you a good teammate. It means that your teammates can depend upon you and don't really need to be thinking about your lane and can focus on their own game.
Well, our first draft of the evening is done. The first pick, Gray overall, certainly an eyebrow raiser. And the compositions are finished. So Tara, Shelly, and the Gray combined there. Shelly, big enough of a nerf?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. I definitely think that she's going to struggle a little bit following those balance changes, but here I think that she'll still be able to do fairly well. Just might have some trouble if she runs out of those gadgets fairly early on.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things kind of work out for this squad. On the other side, we've got a little bit of the pull. Jean has been invited back to the party. It feels like for about a year, we didn't see any Jean, and it kind of like, it's either on or off. Either we see Jean all the time or we don't see him. And right now we're seeing a little bit of a return to that heavy Jean play.
It can be
cool to see him on the winter team.
It can be very dependent on like what some of the brawlers in play are. Are you going to be playing into throwers? I think that Killer 34 is definitely expecting it. He's going to go in for the big teleport. Gets a kill on the left side. Another one for Hiroshi as he takes down WP, and the last man standing is Polar's a free super for Orca as he farms that one up for the next round. A round 1 victory for the Kool kids looks promising for the remainder of this game.
Nice job. We got some Na'Vi fans there. Na'Vi won their first monthly finals a couple of months ago, I think 2 or 3. And so certainly cool to see a squad that has been on the final stage before showing up in the later stages of the day. Big plays here though. 1-for-1 trade. Rabbit Hop still available, very, very healthy. And the gas should come in a matter of seconds, but Killer showing up, and the TP makes it happen.
And nicely placed teleport as well if they want to keep things going for the later stages of the game. But I think they already know that they have this one in the bag. An easy takedown of that ego is going to be instrumental. And a few more shots on a Rabbit Hop, especially with the big pinch around the right side, is going to be a last pick of a thrower or something like that. Especially because those throwers can shut down this map really, really hard. So some good anticipation from the Kool kids. They have a nice combo on their team so far. They're going to be playing this one very aggressively, especially up the right side. Or is able to fend it off. Hiroshi also on a deathly amount of HP. One takedown at the top side though, and it's back to a 2v2.
Killer really accurate with these long-range shots. Orca's got a shotgun, so we won't make an accuracy comment about them as they fall down to the wayside. Killer versus 2 might be a little tough. Very slow pace of play here on this hot zone. Or knockout, excuse me. I expect things to turn up a little bit when we switch game modes.
Certainly so, but for now it's just that pretty metered, kind of slow knockout gameplay. Get the super, end off the round nice and easy. Don't give it to Rabbit Hop. And definitely the calculated play here from the Kool kids. They have that teleport in now if they want to get someone by surprise. If they get someone at low HP, it can be a free kill if they jump in at just the right moment. You see the shades are on the left side blocking off some of the shots for WP. Already taking those down though. Orca in position on the right. Good teleport in for Killer. And it's down to a 3v2.
Yeah, nice job there from Killer. Hiroshi, wish they had more of a plan when activating the shades. They just sort of like hit the button and let them get eaten. But everything coming up Millhouse here for the Kool kids. Round 1, obviously not in their direction, but looking to turn things around here. The 3-on-2 not guaranteed. So Kool Kid's trying to play this one safe here, Eddie.
It's going to be tough for the 2v3 to come out of victorious, especially WP here. He has that pull, but Hiroshi has the super. Might try and get 2 in 1. Or save it for the next round. Polars just knows he's not going to be able to win this one. Goes ahead and... yeah, goes into the gas. I mean, there's nothing really to lose there. 3 supers on the side of Kool Kids and only 1 super on the side of Winner. You decide to not even try. Thank you. Next. We go to the next round. But they're facing 3 supers.
Sometimes you just got to scoop. Rabbit hop in the middle here on the Lola. Recently, I saw something that said Lola was one of the least played brawlers, and not necessarily competitive, but just Brawl overall. Interesting, as we see a good pull from Gene for the first time all game. But I'm surprised to see Lola so low. Polars not falling down. Deployable's good enough, and Winter's going to take the game.
Makes me scratch my head just a little bit. We'll see if they're able to get some more value there with the pulls. I know Hiroshi was hanging on to that pull for a while, likely hoping for a lot more value than he wound up getting. When it comes down to it, though, I think WP is the big playmaker here. Once he gets those pulls fired off, it could be huge, but there's still a pull on the right side.
Nice
Rabbit up, but a counter on Hiroshi. Once more, equalizes thing. Yet another one onto Polars. He's in dangerous territory. The super from Orca, though, won't be enough to shut him down. Killer's going to try and fix this on his own.
Unfortunate. Killer had one moment there to take that when both players were locked in the little grassy jail cell. You land all those shots, I think maybe you get lucky and walk out. But as soon as you was there no boat? Did he have no ammo? What was that?
Well,
you just go up and high five the homie?
Yeah, dap him up on the top side. No, Polars didn't want to kill him there because he wanted to give WP some supercharge. So you don't really want to kill the golden goose, you know what I'm saying? Get some supercharge for the homie, especially because Gene has some active super. In the end, though, he didn't wind up getting a super, and he's still short of a super. But he's getting some chip shots off, especially with the smoke. And he managed to get a kill time as well. Big pull, and it pays off.
3-on-1. Killer's been the guy, at least the last man standing every single time. Winter wins the round, the game, and the set. Nice job, Winter. WP, well played, GG. We'll see how this one, I think Killer 34 is going to need some help. We'll see if he gets it on Bounty, Canal Grand, as you would say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever received positive feedback. I think that's what it was about Canal.
Look at Buzz.
He's just chilling. He's just a dude
so
here.
Chilling.
He is not lifeguarding. He will never lifeguard. What? The bad randoms will never play in a Brawl Stars map. But no, we could see some of these brawlers show up. In the ban phase, we'll see a few familiar faces. Cordelius, most notably making an appearance on either side. Cordelius is, I know for the players, such a frustrating one to play against. He is a very, very powerful brawler, so it's good for both of them, at least for the sake of their sanity. They can get this one eliminated. First pick of Barley is definitely an interesting one that I have not seen before here.
And the Carl to respond. Certainly tried and true with the Gene again. So the Kool Kids opted for Gene in game 1 or set 1, and they, well, didn't. The Kool Kids saw Winter pick Gene in set 1, and they didn't want to be left behind here, so they're going to pick it up this time around. They seem to like the pull a lot. Killer was piloting that Gray before and was working off of that pull. They got a number of kills off of that pull, so the Gene might just be their original choice. You know, they had selected Gray first and then got answered to. Now they'll try the Gene. Either way, they're bringing a pull.
And we do see the Shelly now appearing on the other side. So that's one brawler that you don't want to pull. Just make sure that you navigate around the mines when it comes to this Minesweeper. With all those bushes on the right side, it might be difficult to navigate around, but I can almost guarantee you Killer's going to be running that vision gear so he gets a good visual on those bushes. It can be difficult to win back the mid area once things get a little tricky. Nita is a selection from Winter, and this is an interesting one. It would be good versus a tank in close range, but that's not going to be the selection at all. I think this is a 110% out draft for the Kool Kids. They have the primary counter to Carl with Gene. Gene also counters out Barley. They have Dynamite to deal with the Nita. Dynamite is also just a better thrower than Barley when it comes to that 1v1. And Shelly, I mean, they're indestructibles here. Dynamite's going to be able to fire over those. If Kool Kids can just show up and play it, then I think they have this win already in the bag.
Got to agree there. Love the analysis of the draft and love the draft even more. Imagine that. The Dynamite, though. Real character. People got to get used to him.
He is very, very strong. We'll see just how well Orc is able to play him on this right lane. Polar is using that very fast speed as well as a speed gear to get some movement inside of the bushes, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of movement anymore. Rabbit Hop on the left side gets pulled all the way in, and now Orc is also running that speed gear. Lots of mobility, going to be able to dodge out those shots from WP. Have great mobility even when he's an unseen enemy, and a little bit of healing from the magic punch from Killer. So far, so good for the Kool Kids. They could definitely afford to farm up some more kills, but the most important thing for them is to get that control. The super flashing from Polar's, you just know he's auto-aiming and looking for anything possible, but the Kool Kids have this mid on lockdown.
Hiroshi's also just been owning this left side. Last time around said hi to, I think it was WP. Now Polar's trying to deal with it. Either way, Hiroshi do not care. Left side, right side, my side, baby. Kool Kids going to town. 16 out of 20 stars for them. And Winter's 420 gets turned into an 8.
Kool Kids, just one kill on anyone at all away from ending this one early with 20 stars on their side. Super for Polars is definitely looking good. He's out of gadgets. There's the final. Gonna have to dig deep and find some unseen strategy, do what has never been done before, playing into this kind of outdraft and coming out on top.
It's never been done before?
I don't think so.
I mean, like, definitely like once.
Well, it's never been done before by Kool Kids.
You know what? When you're right, you're right. 5 kills or stars so far. Nice work on the left side. Killer and Hiroshi really combining. This Carl play has been really fantastic, to be honest with you. I did not jump into this matchup looking for the most exemplary gameplay, so to speak, but Hiroshi has just really nailed this sort of like left side, mid side Carl position, and is just extremely accurate, finding the right targets, and honestly doing a great job, which is awesome because I was a little afraid it was going to be all Killer after that first set.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is sort of the thing with Carl. He's such a multifaceted brawler. You're able to play him so many different ways. Just don't usually want to play him like that. Get him really aggressive, and Polars lays down the punishment with the super. And we've seen Kool Kids sort of forfeit control of mid. Hiroshi's still going to be swinging that pickaxe around on the right side, though. And Polars is sort of trapped behind the indestructible, still looking for a supercharge. Maybe some kind of value out here. A little bit of wall break on the left. And Polars is starting to flush things out on the backside, but he's got to be careful. If he gets taken down, it's an immediate win for the Kool Kids. Hiroshi in with the super. A takedown for Orca on the Polars. And that is the set going to the Kool Kids.
Over-aggression punished on the other side. Just that the draft bought you, I think is what you were kind of saying there, yeah?
Totally. And double swoosh also is going to be one of those where you want to create quite a bit of space. And there's some good brawlers to get the job done. We've seen that Gene make an appearance twice now. He'll be able to flush out some of the bushes. That is a spooky plan on the backside. Thankfully, we won't be seeing that one making an appearance, at least in the draft phase. 3 brawlers banned on each side and no duplicates this time. And what do you know? The genie with the lamp is here.
Are we expecting this level of, is this the new Gene world we're in? Because like I said, I mean, we have seen Gene re-entering the meta. But every game, every match, a little surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think the stakes of this match are very, very high, and Gene's a fairly safe brawler a lot of times. He's also a very solid mid, so you can't really go wrong with him all the time unless your enemy picks a bunch of spawnables. Winter, they're going to be sort of leading with the penny. The Salty Barrel is going to be a great counter to Gene. Carl also now selected by KK, and this is what I'm talking about. They went with his exact same duo in the last one. M's final selection, easy one up the left side. I like it for these guys. It is good, it's consistent, it's not really getting too creative, but when you have a strategy that you know has a certain success rate, then you want to play it safe, sure, go for the calculated route instead of risking it all.
M's and Carl. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, anybody getting pulled is going to get hurt, but not always the characters I look at to complement the Gene. Buzz, on the other hand, the opposite of Gene. Is this upside down Gene? You know?
Sort of, yeah. Pull yourself to the enemy. Buzz, interestingly, is pretty much the first brawler that I thought of when I was thinking of what could Winter do against Kool Kids. And Buzz is one of those where, once again, you have to play him right. He's not really a fault-tolerant brawler, but going into Carl, he's a known Carl counter. Going into M's, her #1 weakness is when brawlers are able to forcibly get in close range, because you're not going to be able to walk towards her. She'll keep on zoning you out with that main attack, and then she'll keep you slowed down with the super. So I like this selection from Winter. I think that Buzz has promise. We'll see how well it's played. We'll see Hiroshi on the right side sort of counter what I expected was typically played over here. Rabbit Hop, though, is still going to have a good day once he gets that super. Eyes Sharp is going to be giving him some extended range on that charge as well. Killer also getting some free shots off of that. Some nice zoning out on that left side. Of course, win lane, win game, and so far, Kool Kids are in the lead, even though it's marginal.
Polars get spun on. Kind of comes out in time, though. Kool Kids with mid control at the moment. Winter shoved back on their side of things. 4, make that 5-2. Yeah, Rabbit Hop really has to find a way to get that super. Finds it. Misses the time, though, so Orca's able to get in and get out. 7 gems to none. Here comes the pain. Kool Kids have 9 gems to Winter's none.
Here's the countdown for Kool Kids 2. Orca can afford to stay up and aggressive, but Hiroshi and Killer need to back away. Rabbit Hop has that stun now. Here's the pull, and he's taken down. No chance of grappling in now. Orca tries to defend the rest of the push. He can't get scrap-suckered if you're in the middle of that super. 1 kill on the right and 1 on the left. Kool Kids, he's able to spin freely if you don't stun him. So I think that this was Winter. Maybe they need to get a bit more comfortable on this Buzz and then see what they're able to do on that left lane. So far, though, Kool Kids are absolutely profiting off of it. And once the opposition is ramped up a little bit, how will we see them react is a real big question here.
This is a good example of why we always say, you know, you got to play the game. You know, this Buzz pick was arguably the correct choice, but it's obviously Rabbit Hop having some trouble playing it. It is, and I am not saying that lightly. It's tough to play tanks, like it just is. Rabbit Hop on the left-hand side, trying to change the narrative here. Finds a couple of punches, but not enough. Sent back behind bars, and then back to base. Killer on the good side. 3 gems to Winter's 5, though. Kool Kids playing well, but not really controlling the situation.
Rabbit Hop's going to get it on the left side. Orca with the super all the way to the top side. No, over to the right, a little lane swap action. And that's actually massive. Hiroshi on the left with the Caustic Charisma down, and doesn't fall from some good help from Killer on the right side. WP going in very aggressive. The 1v3, and predictably gets taken down. Kool Kids still at a deficit. A couple gems picked up on their side keeps them still in the running. Rabbit Hop on the right, encroaching on the back lines. So far for Polars, it's all good. He's got the turret up. He's farming up some gems for free. WP's just keeping things locked down on the left. Nice kill for Orca, though. Looks promising. Killer also with a lot of gems. He's trying to hold things down over here. Orca grappled, taken down by Rabbit Hop, and Hiroshi around the right side picks up yet another gem. It's 8-8. Incredibly tied up here. And should things keep on getting traded out, it could be good. A wonderful pull for Kool Kids, but a counter from Rabbit Hop on the left side, and Winter's still in it.
Orca, though, makes the play of the game. Just gets in the mid, spins it, and wins it. 16 gems in the pocket. Rabbit Hop goes in. Wrong target. Gets the kill, but it doesn't matter. 7 seconds on the clock, and 16 gems behind the wall. A pull kills one contender. There's the kill on the second, and the game's done. Kool Kids take the game and the set. Nice moves.
Once again, wonderfully played from Kool Kids. When it came down to winner, I think we saw that Buzz develop a lot in the right direction, but really far. He was also keeping his distance, keeping Buzz in that bush exactly where he wanted him to be. So it goes to prove that just because it counters things on paper, you still gotta show up and you gotta brawl correctly. We'll see Kaboom Canyon coming in here now, and this is one of those other ones where you can rush it down real quickly. It's sort of the nature of Heist, but some interesting drafts emerge on this map quite frequently, so I'm excited to see how this one goes down.
Bans are in. No Cordelius. Is that Janet that I saw? No, it was Bonnie. All right, there it is. Normal stuff. None of the Colettes either, but our picks are more important. Belle being the first choice overall here for Winter, with Eve being the first choice overall, I should say. Belle being Winter's first choice. And then there's Lola combined. All right, 8-Bit on the other side. I really like 8-Bit.
I love 8-Bit. I mean, he pumps out so much DPS. He can be great for keeping control. Just is very challenging to use correctly when you don't have that super down. Also fairly challenging to play into Belle. Belle's great for any brawler that she outranges, which is an 8-Bit, but she's also good against brawlers that have turrets and need to stay by those turrets, which is, you know, basically 8-Bit. He needs that turret to have any chance at survival. The Jessie final selection from Winter also, I definitely like this one quite a bit. Can get some good base race action in there, and also able to contend at decent range versus a Kool Kid. It's going to be another one of those that is good versus the 8-Bit turret. I think, personally, Winter had that 8-Bit in mind as their final selection because they picked that Belle so early on, and she's a pretty well-known counter to 8-Bit. With the Colette ban for Kool Kids, I think they also wanted that 8-Bit, so they might have just decided to snap this one up and figured that they can play into whatever Winter comes up with as a counter. So we'll see how this one plays out.
The Jessie, man, I'm still trying to figure out where Jessie is most applicable. Why Jessie over a different brawler here?
If you ask me, it's got to be because they want to diminish the value that Killer's able to have on this 8-Bit. Jessie, she's most often played into tanks because she can shut them down so easily. If we talk about like the North American perspective, she's quite good into a brawler like Sam because she throws down that turret, gets the slow, gets a whole lot of damage out. Killer's over here with the boosted booster there, and the extra credits pumping into the safe. Only 78% remain. But off of that push, Kool Kids have completely forfeited that control of mid that they worked so hard to get off the beginning of the match. When you get that kind of push in, ideally, you keep the mid control. And Winter are now going to have to play the control game. Keep Kool Kids in their spawn and gradually chip away at the safe. They're just not geared for the sort of high octane, lay a ton of damage into the safe like Orca and Killer are able to. If it's anyone, it's got to be Rabbit Hop, who's the first to fall. But WP and Polar still have the mid on lock.
Hiroshi not doing too much on the Eve this time around. As much as I like the Carl pick, it's no secret I don't love Eve. And I look across the way. I think people can handle her, obviously, taking care of business. Yeah, she's mad. Big damage coming out from Winter here as they are 2/3 of the way done with Kool Kids is safe. Hiroshi does get one kill over there, but Polars is able to punish it right on back. And now just 21% remains for the blue safe.
Winter, they've gotten this control just once during the game, and they've kept it the entire time. 19% remain. Killer and Orc is still alive. Big damage on Killer, though, and the reflection onto the save from WP. Well played as Rabbit Hop gets the final shots alongside Scrappy on the left.
A couple of those moments, Kool Kids looked like just the better team. And Winter is just showing up and really kind of making moments happen when they weren't winning earlier. And so I like to see that change. That adaptation is a nice move. Hiroshi wins on the left side. WP under the gun. And one more shot confirms it, and it comes from Killer. But not enough space for the team to step up. So kills are good, but no objective control just yet.
This is really challenging for Kool Kids. If they lose mid, like they did last game, then it could wind up panning out the exact same way. Winter, they already have 2 brawlers in those bushes, and Orca's trying to break them open with the use of Silver Bullet. Really anything that he can get his hands on. Killer now throwing down the boosted booster. That plugged-in star power is not present. It would be a lot better for getting the retake of mid. You'd have a lot more movement to sort of juke out the shots from enemies you literally cannot see. And Orca's getting tapped up on the right side too. Rabbit Hop and Polars are keeping the mid control. WP also is in a pretty furious 1v1 on the left side. Hiroshi also getting attacked. Winter, they're keeping that mid control. Only 3% on the safe so far, but a kill on the right side begs to say otherwise. Polars might find the opportunity to rush in. A nice kill for Hiroshi on the left side, and Kool Kids might get this retake.
Very important kill for Hiroshi on that left side. If that doesn't go down Kool Kids' way, WP is able to walk in. Winter is able to go ahead and find an entire offensive set. Instead, Hiroshi stops all of that, and just under a minute to go, still 97% or more left on everybody's box. It's Winter with a 3% lead. WP walking up this left-hand side, drops the turret. Everybody looks at it. It's gone as quickly as it came. Half a minute to go here, ready, set, and Kool Kids inching up, actually making some differences on the objective, 80% and running.
Ooh, a full clip from Orc on the right side, and he was steamrolling so hard that he even used a super to cap things off. He's going to be short of a super now, and Polars manages to take advantage of it. Not a scratch on Winter's safe so far, and Kool Kids are looking for anything they can use to push up. 15-second countdown active, and the time is running short now, dipping below 10, and Killer's got to send it up the left side. He's got a super in hand, and Rabbit Hop and WP are well aware. The super's down. Hiroshi's looking for anything and everything, but 73% is just too hard a number to not top, but go below. WP are going to be sending us into the 5th and final set.
Hey, he's got a friend. Oh, don't hurt. No, what are you doing? Why do that?
That's Orca right there.
Why would you do that? I don't like that. Answer back was super important. And so jumping here into field goal, a lot of the standard bans. RT first off, not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, once more, good, consistent brawler. I think there are some pretty good long-range brawlers that are also still left on the table, though B is one of the first ones that comes to mind for me. As a North American head, Nita response from Kool Kids. Not going to be making serious waves versus RT, but can definitely be good versus some of those tanky brawlers. So perhaps picking up some of these tank buster type brawlers, or at least Nita from the perspective that she's good into tanks because she gets so many free supers off of them. Kool Kids could be gearing up for a tank last pick. We also see that Shelly ban, which is definitely a good call. Cordelia's banned out too. So some of the more prevalent brawlers in the current meta banned out, standardizing things a little bit, but also opening up room for creativity for Winter. They got a couple more picks. Barley, definitely one that I love, especially into that Nita. It is a hard counter.
Just due to range?
From the fact that you can fire over walls, and there are blocks of 2x2 indestructibles on this map that Nita's just never going to be able to touch Barley around.
Last pick here, though, for field goal, or for Winter, excuse me, on field goal. You've got some long-range stuff, and so, well, you got everything out of R2, to be honest with you. And you've got the Barley. So it's going to be the Spike. I was just going to say, I want to see a little bit more control here coming out from Winter, and Spike is where I would have gone. I don't know about for sure, but I think it's the safest pick. We've seen teams go to choices like Sandy recently for that control, but I think Spike just is a little bit safer there, as Carl locked in last choice overall.
Yeah, when it comes down to the Kool Kids' last pick, Carl's just about the first thing on my mind. They really do like playing this brawler, but I couldn't help but laugh to myself a little bit just because of Kool Kids. They keep on picking these same brawlers, and it's not even a bad sign. It's really just a sign that they've sort of min-maxed the skill on their brawler pool. It's going to be good into the Barley. I'm definitely optimistic for that. Barley will probably be bringing the sticky syrup mixer to diminish the value of that, which is good counterplay to it. Polars also is going to have some good play into into that lane. So I think really Winter do have the draft here. I see a lot of potential for Hiroshi to make waves with that Lola. A lot more damage output potential, I think, and a large cone of shots to be fired at enemies that are going to be tougher to dodge. But Winter, I think that they have the draft here.
I got to agree. Actually, Killer using the Shiba Nita skin, I now think it's all Kool Kids. Actually, it might just be as two players fall down. WP does find a kill. And that might be enough. The slow field is good, and that's why we pick Spike, folks. Entire Kool Kids scoring opportunity dissuaded by a single Spike. Well played.
Makes me happy to see the popping pin cushion coming out from WP. You almost never see the very first Spike gadget coming out. Good kill for Orc on the left side as well. He'll be able to push things up if he receives the pass. He could even extend the offense of the Kool Kids. But we see WP's decided not to go with that second gadget, likely because there are two piercing shots on the enemy team that are not going to be that great to be running the life plane into. So it's good to see that he got some value off of the gadget that otherwise would usually receive no value. Rabbit Hop taken down on the right, but there's the sticky syrup mixer we were talking about that prevented Orca from getting out that one alive. 2v2 ensues, with Rabbit Hop soon rejoining the fray. All control here as we dip below 1 minute on the clock.
Was that a surprise? Did we see that for the first time out of the Barley? Because that play by Orca was like teamed up. Hiroshi had popped out the ego. They wanted to make that move at the same time, but it looked like they were caught off guard by the slow.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to be expecting the slow if you're running an aggro brawler into the Barley. He's not going to be running that sort of control-based medicinal healing tonic. But it seemed like Orca was still able to get at least a trade there into what is a hard counter, so still
they wanted so much more, though.
No doubt.
We've got 20 seconds here on the clock. Scoreless after all that. Who has the better overtime corner here? Ready?
Definitely going to go with Kool Kids on that one. Though WP is looking particularly fearsome on this Spike. Rabbit Hop can also get some good value on the Barley just by virtue of his range, but he's not going to have too much health to work with. Killer's looking dangerous on the right side. 6,000 health strong. Pass over to Orca. He has that super available, and he's going to use it to clear things out. A pass down the right side, and it's good for Kool Kids. Match point in.
Clears everybody out so his team can just walk it on in. A nice last play there as Kool Kids find themselves on match point. All right. Is this the team that you predicted or the one that I predicted?
I predicted Kool Kids to take the win. Just going to get that
Boom.
nice slot in the goal. It's free. It's completely open. And it's only 20 seconds in. Already a strong start for the Kool Kids. Winter are having a little bit of trouble on that defense, at least off the beginning of the game. They're still able to fend things off versus Orca relatively well. The only problem for Winter is that they don't really have high health brawlers that'll be able to tank that into the goal. And overtime is just not a possibility unless they get at least one goal. So it's going to be challenging, but it's also very possible.
Ooh.
WP has that super. He needed a pass from Polars, but it just wasn't there in time. Even a super down on top of that goal could clear things out and fork things over to the left and right. It was good for the first kill, but Hiroshi needs to fall next. WP's taking a lot of damage. He's still alive. Pass over to Rabbit Hop. A distant possibility. Maybe over to Polars, though, as he does have more health. It's still going to be difficult with Kool Kids continuously staggering around. Winter knows they have to go back to the drawing board. They got to go all the way back to have any chance of scoring.
That looked like a lot of times, you know, I would say Brawl Ball is 80% Brawl, 20% football, maybe even more 90-10. That looked like real football, like just passing left and right, trying to figure out who to score. But instead, it's an assault on Winter's base at the moment. 3-on-2. Orca trying to do the thing from before, and does. Goal number 2, win number 1. Your Southeast Asian monthly finalists for the first time are Hiroshi and the Kool Kids.
Wonderful stuff for the Kool Kids. A well-deserved victory in a very, very scrappy match. Some ups, some downs, but they come out on top in the end. Awesome stuff for the Kool